We had the new moon, dark sky, which is great. Had a planned camping, pitched our tent, went back there for the night. Crystal clear. Darkest night. Decided to read that meditation, did the singing bowl, and that shit starts happening. Pow, pow, pow. We started seeing flash bulbs. Streakers coming down. Graham Dunlop is the he said he star. Graham Dunlop is the he said he star. Blubbity, blubbity, blah.
America. Abracadabra is Aramaic, and it translates to "with my word I create," or "with my word I influence."
Okay, guys, welcome back to the Grimerica Show. We are going to be chatting with friend of the show, Mark England, a little bit later, who's, of course, friends with our good buddy, Brandon Powell, who we'll be lucky enough to be hanging out with here in just like 2.5 weeks. We'll be kicking it with Brandon again down in sunny Arizona. Dude, I was just thinking today, I can't wait to feel that sunshine on my face.
Yeah, I was thinking about that. I went for a walk with Maria outside in the park, and I was like, I can't wait for summer. Just the birds and the sun and the wind. And
it'll be summer in Arizona.
I know.
Direct sunlight, vitamin D in it up.
Yeah.
It'll be fantastic. I can't wait. And I might want to detour over and check out the Grand Canyon. We'll see.
Huh.
It looks like it's, maybe 3 or 4 hours out of the way. But we'll have an extra driver, so what's the big deal?
No big deal.
No big deal. Bug it. Sleep is for the week. We could bring the camper. But it would suck if they, searched it or something. Not that there's anything in it. It would just be like a whole production.
It'd be like an hour to assemble it. And
to go through all the cupboards, and now you're trying to set it up in the minus 30 at the border or whatever. But
it's not a bad idea, though, really.
It's not a bad idea, because then we could just
finding a hotel
stay wherever we want.
Pop it up. Yeah.
You can sleep with Kyle on the one bunk. I'll sleep on the other side.
The king bunk? Is there a king?
No, I get the king. There's a king.
Right. You don't get a king by yourself, dude.
Well, it's my camper. Of course, no one's sleeping in my bed but me. I fuck in there. There's a king on one side and a queen on the other. And then there's a couple singles, too.
Yeah, that's a pretty big tent trailer.
That's the cool thing about tent trailers. They just pop out into the thing, but it would be cold, right? It'd be pretty hard to keep that thing warm and in the cold.
Yeah, but once you're in a sleeping bag, it's fine.
Yeah, that's true. It's just like when you get up in the morning and have to make breakfast. There is a furnace on it, so you could get the furnace going. It wouldn't be so bad. Needs a new bearing, though, so it squeaks. I got to fix that this summer.
The furnace squeaks or the wheels?
No, the furnace. When the furnace get going and there's something in it, like you're just about to fall asleep and it just don't stop. It just goes. There's something in there that needs to be greased. I haven't been able to find it yet. Then it got cold, so I got to take another crack at it in the spring. So what are you doing? Are you playing the drums over there?
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
Yep.
Don't apologize to me. Just apologize to everyone whose headphones you just tapped in. It's like tapping them on the ear. So how you been? You get out?
Yeah, it's been good. Yep. Yeah, doing well.
Did you get out?
I got out, yeah.
You got out for a walk?
Yeah, went outside, yeah. Got outside of the house.
New cat?
New cat, yep.
I seen a picture of a new cat stand.
Yeah, oh, you saw that, eh? Yeah, I assembled that. Yeah, the cats love it. Big cat tree. Yeah, we got a new cat to replace the one that died on us there. We had to put down. Pretty sad, so... This new one's pretty cute, pretty cool. So.
You should have just got like a dozen cats in the beginning. You could be the cat guy. You're the cat guy. Get another kitten over there. You know what I was thinking? You're not working now.
I work 7 days a week now.
If you want to call it that. I mean, you work 7 days a week. Yeah, so hard. This guy's busting ass over there. Busting ass. My kids used to be obsessed with this show on Netflix called Kitten Party.
Oh, yeah?
And it was literally just this voiceover on someone videotaping kittens playing all day. So why don't you get a couple more cats over there and we'll start up another little project here. Graham's Kittenopolis.
No, I don't
You
I
go
don't want to
there.
be anywhere. No,
You can do little voiceovers for
No, I
them.
don't
You
want-
can make
no, I
little
don't wanna do that.
personas.
no,
No?
No.
Or you could just film it and we could hire people to do the
it's
voices.
already been done. Yeah,
I'm telling you, there is an unlimited market
an
cap for
untapped
this.
market for kids.
Unlimited market cap here. The amount of channels of people just playing video games is insane. And I was watching one the other day with the kids. It had 107 million views. They blew up Buddy's house for a prank. And he's like, oh, don't worry, I bought you a new one. I was like, well, yeah, he probably made like $6 million just off this one fucking video. So why not?
Oh, they blew up the house in real life.
Dude, it
Not in
was
the video
fucking
game?
crazy. I think it's called like elephant toothpaste or something.
Wow. Yeah, that is crazy.
Anyway, they're going to all this precautions because they're like pulling on a rope. They had to pull on this rope to get this thing to fall into this other colorful stuff. It's very colorful. Looks like I don't know, like slime, I guess, like neon slime. When the one fucking thing, they pulled the rope from outside the house through the window. When that fucking thing fell into those barrels of stuff, it was crazy how fast it reacted and like blew all the windows out of the fucking place and everything. It was unbelievable. It was crazy. I think it was called Mr. Beast or something like that.
Huh.
I remember in the beginning thinking, who is this guy? This is ridiculous. He's never going to make it. And it comes up at the end, 107 million views. I was like, okay,
Yeah.
never mind. We may never hit that combined on all out.
No, I mean, and you don't want to be at the mercy of their algorithms either. That's the problem with starting up anything right now. It's, I heard guys talking about this as far as they're doing like mainstream culture, comics, like geek culture kind of stuff. And
kittens, I think,
it's
are
super
pretty
hard
safe.
for these people, even though they get lots of views, they can only get so far and so fast. Cause
That's why you need kittens, man.
yeah.
Super safe. Super safe. We'll get you a little cat suit. It'll be great. Get the kids involved. Anyway, what do you got? What do you got for me?
Well, I mean, I
Entertain
don't know.
me.
I got some great emails to read. I got a synchro, and then I got an update from Eastern Europe because we were talking about Eastern Europe. So I got an update from Poland I want to go over, and everybody can email me, graham@grahamerica.com. Email me with your stories, your synchronicities, your UFO sightings, your spiritual awakenings, with an update from where you are in the world.
Is it in
Update
English
on
or Polish?
COVID. It's in English. So, I mean, what do you want to do? You want to start off with that, get into this, the topic of what's happening right now from a huge fan in Eastern Europe, or do you want to get into a synchro?
I didn't know we had fans in
got
Eastern
a
Europe.
quote.
Let's go
I
to
know,
let's go
that's
to
awesome,
Eastern
man.
Europe.
I know. Let's go
All
to
right.
Eastern Europe.
And now another edition of the Grimerican Goodies by the people, for the people.
Hey, wait, I got to play one more. Nah, I better not. I feel like in some ways I can't play the coffee enema jingle anymore. There's too many people listening.
Oh, really? Oh, yeah. Don't play it now.
And
Put it at the
now,
end of it.
another
Put it at the end.
adventure in coffee enemas.
All right, I'll put it at the end.
Yeah, play it at the end.
There's a couple good ones. You know
There's a
what?
lot
I
of farty
haven't.
sounds and stuff, isn't there?
You never go C-setting anymore, so I can't play C-setty star.
Well, maybe I will this summer.
This week to this summer. I mean, you
This
just
summer,
extended it 6 months in like the wave of your hand.
So this is the title here. It's From Eastern Europe to North America, from me with love for Grimerica. I'm listening. Hello, Graham, Darren. I'm listening to your newest show right now. I can hear that you guys were talking about Eastern Europe. I'm from Poland, so. And it's a little bit long, but I think it's well worth the read here. If you're interested, I can tell you how this shit flies over here. First of all, we've been through this stuff. Socialism, not so long ago. Communism fall in Poland, 1989. I can still remember so-called cards. They were like food stamps in the US, but oh boy, much worse. Try to imagine such a situation. You get card. I thought of putting on my Eastern European accent, but I can't. But
I don't think you have an Eastern
you
European
get
accent.
card. You get card for shoes, coats, TV, refrigerator, meat, vodka, tools, furnitures.
Vodka.
literally on all things you need to live like human. So now imagine this. You got card for a pair of shoes, but at the shop, they didn't got your size.
What kind of
grab
card?
any size they gave you.
So you have a COVID card?
No, you've got a card for like staples, for stuff, right? This is the system they're talking about, the communism system they're talking about, right?
So I have
So you get a token for clothes,
shoes.
for shoes, for food. You get a card, right?
This
So you
is
get a
where
card for
Poland's
shoes.
at now? No.
No. This is
Okay.
this
I
is-
just
You
imagine.
want me to start over? Or?
Yeah, I'm having trouble following. Let's do it without your accent this time.
Communism.
It's hard enough to
fall in
follow the broken English.
Communism fall in Poland, 1989.
Okay, that makes sense
Right,
already.
right?
Makes
Okay.
more sense already.
I should have waited till you're ready for me. Literally on all things you need to live like a human. So now imagine this. You got a card for a pair of shoes, but at the shop, they didn't have your size.
I'm lost
So you
again.
would grab-
I'm lost again. I don't get the card for the shoes.
You have to, you got to go buy a pair of shoes. You got to give them a card, right?
Just any card. It's a shoe card.
No, it's a card. It's a card for.
So
it's a
they
token.
send everyone out a shoe card in the mail?
Yeah. I'll read. I'll keep reading here. So you grab any size they give you, right? Any size.
Of shoes.
Why? Because maybe in 1 or 2 weeks your size will be available,
And you can
and maybe your sister or brother or even your neighbor will get it and be able to make you a little flip flop exchange with him. Other story that will give you a picture of this sick system most people can't even imagine. Pewix, so P-E-W-E-X. Pewix was a government network of shops where you could buy only with $1. So dollars.
only with $1.
Polish money, no good. Dollars, good. Considering the West currencies were illegal for people to possess makes this situation almost surrealistic. Fortunately, some people were working abroad and got relatives there, so they have access to currency. It was also a control tool for the party.
The
You need
Communist
to be
Party?
a good boy. You need to be a good boy to still be able to receive this green money from your auntie that stays over Big Pond.
Holy man.
But even with all these mechanisms of control, all at power, tanks, USSR help, tyranny, militia on the streets, tap wires, killings, arrests, Polish people were able to win with communism. With no arms, no weapons, no American intervention, we did it because we stand together. We created the biggest worker union in the world, Solidarnosc. So it's Solidar NOSC. And its peak, it has 6 million members. That was almost 40% of all the working people in my country. And we were like that. Say no to Polish man. You can't do that because I'm telling you, you can be sure that she will do it, even if it's against the law of physics. And mostly because it's against the government's order. So now imagine that you are in Solidarnosc, let's say, and they fired you. Next day, all members will strike. While Poland would stand still, all 6 million members would not work if you weren't to bring back to work. That was the power of Solidarnosc. So what he's saying is, and we are like, say no to Polish man. Like he's saying, say no to Polish man. You can't do that because I'm telling you, you can be sure that he will do it. So they're going, they're saying no, they go against it. And you can check it. It's fact.
He's fact. He's fact.
Getting back to now, you can see this gender massacre narrative destroying of nuclear family, messing up all traditional values. Well, not in Poland. We finished Rainbow Revolution very quick. Burned down biggest rainbow installed in Warsaw, Poland capital. I'm not saying it was best way to deal with it, but it was clear enough to give some groups a signal. Not in our house, bitches. So we know what is coming. I'm only hoping that there's still enough of us to face it and smash it. With Jesus' help. Don't get me wrong. I'm not religious, but spiritual person for sure. I believe in Jesus as a high moral ideal to strive for. My sobriety helps me with this as well. It has been 5 years. I keep my head clean and clear from alcohol. With proud. I know that Graham is sober as well, and I can congratulate you. You are the man, bro. Except of the above revelations of mine, I want to tell you that you guys are the top of the top. I can listen to you all day. Grimerica, THC Podcast, Tinfoil Hat, Forum Borealis. Actually, just Forum Borealis is coming on Outlawed Show. All of a sudden, his name is popping up everywhere for me. It's really interesting. He's coming on this week. This week, we are recording with Forum Borealis.
Forum Borealis.
Skeptico, even King of Kings, Art Bell. Happy to show you are my amazing old country. My city is over 800 years old. Zagan hooked Darren up with some great weed and served some astonishing traditional food like homemade bread and ham. Guys, much love again, and please keep up the good job you are doing. P.S. My crazy name is Jedraz. It's Yedyev. It's phonetically it's pronounced Yedyev.
Yedyev.
But my friends call me Jay-Z. Yes, like the fucking rapper.
Jay-Z Yedyev. I like it. Yeah. So we're gonna go to Poland.
Thanks, dude. I mean, see, this is the stuff we don't hear about, right? The cards and food and what happens, right?
Well, what happened?
And no wonder why Poland's going to push back with all this cultural stuff, right? Right?
What happened?
Happened, yeah.
In the Soviet.
What happens
in the Union.
When this happens? It happens.
But it just made it seem like maybe it was happening right now.
No.
Which was my confusion at the beginning.
Right.
Then you blame me for confusing us all. But that's okay. I forgive you. So we're going to go to Poland? That'd be kind of cool, probably.
I'd love to, yeah.
You were close.
City 800 years old.
How close is Prague to Poland?
I almost went through Bulgaria, before I've been through Romania, Bulgaria, the Czech Republic, some other Eastern European, I think, but I didn't make it to Poland.
Was it an expensive flight?
No, I don't remember. It wasn't so bad.
Yeah, it was only a few years ago, right?
Yeah. 2018, I believe. No, maybe earlier than that, 2017, 2018.
Huh. Yeah, man, Poland would be cool, but
even just Europe, Eastern Europe. I mean,
you'd want to do the whole thing, like check out Moscow and all that shit. Then I have to wait till my kids are gone, and I could just like go to Europe for 3 months. You know, we'll do that shit. We'll do a Grimerica Eastern Europe trip. We could do fucking cocaine lines that are shaped like Ukraine, like in Lord of War. I'll meet you in Kiev. All right, what else you got? Let's hear a synchro. I'll play a jingle.
Yeah, I got a synchro too.
I'm going to play the old school jingle here. The original. Is it the original? I think it's the original. I think this is the one even before he sent us in the other one. Ooh, I don't know which one it is, though. It might. I'm going to say this one. That's not it.
I'm a rambling grand.
You know, I was looking for the Synchronicity a cappella, but I can't find it. Maybe it's gone. Damn it.
Can I give you a quick update from Australia? Well,
sure, yeah, let's hear it.
This is from Kenny D. He says, "Hi, Graham. Might be a little frigid in your province right now, but here in Melbourne, Victoria, Australia, it was 34 degrees Celsius, and the streets were full of freedom lovers. The big local issue right now is the push to jab the children. Pure evil persists here, but the sheep will slumber on. Infections are exploding in response to the unwise receiving multiple doses of the cytotoxic spike protein. Some of the unjabbed are catching it too, losing about a week to the recovery process. But the infections are raging through the inoculated, with the result that there are long queues to get their first booster. That is shot number 3. Fear is a far more debilitating infection." He sent me some pictures from the protest. Beautiful blue skies.
They're still at it down there.
Here's a sign. Here's a sign. Want to live in China? Easy. Keep your ass on the couch, watch TV, obey, conform, and give it a few months. We're almost there.
It's gone. It seems to be gone. What's this one? There it is.
Synchronicities. Synchronicity. It's time for another installment of the Canadian Third Party Synchronicity Rating Authority.
You know, I think I only paid $30 for that jingle back in the day. Can you believe that? What a deal.
I can't believe it was a. I don't think you paid for that one. That sounds
that
like
one I paid for.
That sounds like
I
Felix.
paid for that
I think
one. That's not.
Felix.
No, it's not.
I think
Felix.
Felix was working for Fiverr.
We didn't even know that was on Fiverr.
Maybe that's how we met Fever.
Fever? That's how we met Felix on Fever?
Yeah.
I think you're thinking of Grinder. I think you're thinking of a different Felix.
Hi, guys. Graham just sent you a donation of sorts through the mail today and was going to wait to either hear back from you or maybe just email you tonight or tomorrow. But the most timely synchronicity has just happened and I can't wait any longer. Okay, brief backstory. I've been in sporadic contact with Charlie Robinson over the past year or so. Recently sent him a donation of garden seeds for my business. I have an online store where I sell veggie fruit and herb seeds. He then mentioned my company on one of his recent episodes, unexpected to me, and that has opened a weird Pandora's box for me. The following day, I heard from Adam and Deborah gets red-pilled. So to open up the dialogue with me about maybe appearing on his show to talk about food sustainability. I've never been on a podcast, nor have I ever done any public speaking in my entire life. It's not my wheelhouse, but I'm open for new experiences, of course. So I messaged Charlie saying, holy shit, man, thank you for name dropping me on your show. And I explained how I was getting tons of traffic on my website. He then invited me to possibly come on the Union of the Unwanted in the next couple months to talk food sustainability. Adam had previously mentioned looking into the food forest abundance guys, saying that maybe this would be something I'd be interested in. I was vaguely aware of their work, and it does sort of line up with what I do, setting up veggie gardens for customers and harvesting seeds to sell. So with all this in mind, I've been sort of on cloud nine these past few weeks, despite being fired from my job 2 days after Christmas. So I usually run 2 or 3 weeks behind with podcasts that I keep up with, but I've fallen far behind these past few months with a dozen shows that I listen to faithfully. I'm doing some day work, delivering flyers door to door just to keep the bills paid for until my next full-time job starts. So this morning, I mailed you and Darren a big package of garden seeds as a donation to your show and to you guys as individuals.
To the P.O. box?
Yeah, probably.
Well, I better check it this week.
I just kind of thought you would appreciate it and that it would be good to go to good use. I leave the post office, plug in my iPod. Yes, I am still using an iPod, and start hoofing through the snow, walking my routes for the day. I finally caught up to current with a few other shows that I listened to, and today was going to be a Grimerica day. For the most recent episode, press play, and there it is. You guys interviewing Jim Gale from the Food Forest Alliance. Perfect synchronicity. And to bookend the entire thing, at the end of the episode, Darren is breaking your chops and saying that you should be the garden guy and he could be the hunting guy.
There you go.
Well, in a few days, you'll get a package in the mail from me and you'll have enough seeds to start a whole goddamn farm.
There you go. I still have to... Go ahead.
And once you see the way I package the whole thing, in order to avoid international rule-breaking scrutiny or whatever, I think you'll appreciate it even more. There's so much more to say, but I won't make this a ridiculously long email. I've been meaning to send you another pretty legit 8.5 out of 10 synchronicity story for a while now, but I'll save that for another day. Anyways, enjoy the seeds. Keep up the awesome work that you guys do, and maybe someday when I'm not living in poverty-stricken marginal existence, I will be able to donate some actual cash. Peace, love, and good vibes. Joe Arnone from daddygarden.org.
Daddy Garden. That sounds super perverted. That's all right, though. No, it's not. I know it's not. I still got all the seeds that Bill Loeb sent us. Remember when like Manitoba was blocking off seed sales and stuff at the beginning of COVID?
Yes.
So
I remember
I was
some
like,
of those
Bill, send me some
stores.
seeds. Yeah, he sent a shit ton of them.
Why did we ever realize why they did that?
No, they're just idiots.
That just seemed to drop.
They're just idiots. I mean, honestly, yeah,
dude,
it's just like there's just a bunch of fucking boneheads in the thing trying to figure out what was essential and what wasn't.
You think, really?
Yeah. I mean, we never got to seed blocking in Alberta. We never got to retail stores being closed, I don't think, right? I don't think the retail stores were ever closed here that I can think of.
It might have been a short little. I think it was the initial 2 weeks might have closed them all. No, or was that when they separated essential from non-essential?
You could be right. I don't know. Did we do that here? I can't remember now.
I don't know.
I remember that it's hard for me to know because I was anti-mask for so long that I wasn't going to any stores anyway.
Yeah,
because it was just like a big thing to go to a store, right? You got to rev yourself up. Fuck. Except Cabela's. Cabela's was always pretty chill. Anyway, I forget what the fuck I was talking about. Where were we going?
Oh, you're talking about retail stores and stuff, and whether the seeds.
So Bill. Shout out to Bill Loebi, like Avi Loeb. That except spelled different. Down in what's the name of that place now? Neighbors Feed and Seed.
Oh, Neighbors Feed and Seed, yeah.
Down in Shawarma. Check that out. He sent us a bunch of seeds. Now I'll have all these seeds. I mean, you could start us a proper garden. You really could. We could get you a little outfit.
Nowadays since the show. I mean, I've been seeing pictures. I think there's going to be.
If you want to do, if you want to legit,
the truckers are, they're protesting bad roads in Canada today,
dude. I went to the store yesterday and it was fucking. There was a lot of empty shit.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I did a big shop the other day and it was all fine.
I don't go to this. Well, we're in Chestermere. We'll be one of the last places to run out. I went to the store in the city with Natasha, and it was a different story.
Oh, that's interesting. When was that? Yesterday?
Yeah, and it was like there was a bunch of shit that was starting to run out, and I was like, man, it's only been like 4 days since that thing kicked in. Like we aren't even really noticing that yet.
What thing?
The
vax mandate.
Border
for the
mandate.
truckers?
Yeah, I think it was the 17th or something. So it hasn't been that long, and shit's already running out. You don't know, so it's hard to know what's. I feel like we haven't even really got to that part of it yet, and it's just a regular supply chain shit.
Well, if those truckers would just stop protesting against bad roads.
Yeah, I know. We should fix the roads. BC does have shitty roads. I mean, look, they just got washed away. Last time there was a storm, the roads just got washed away.
Yeah, but there's only so much you can do against Mother Nature when she wants to do that. You can't it's not because the roads
maybe
are built
you,
bad.
Maybe you, buddy. Maybe you. I'll tell you what, when I leave my fucking mark on Mother Nature, it's there to stay. Okay? That's it.
Your seeds? When you plant your seeds?
Whatever I'm up to. I don't do things temporarily. That's it. I'm not going to get any excuses out of me. That sounds like a real commie excuse over there, Graham. I'm just like, what are you going to do? Mother Nature got the best of us. Darn. Oh, no. You just shut off.
So we're just joking about the truckers. Obviously, they're not protesting the roads. They're on their way to Ottawa.
Well, some of them might be. Be careful there. Because when I opened up the story, it said it was a different story. It says there's 2 different protests going on today.
Oh, okay.
So I don't know enough to just outright say that that's bullshit.
Oh, okay.
There's a chance it could be both.
Thanks for that.
We don't want to be those guys, you know?
No, totally. I don't want to be at all. Yeah.
But it seems it's highly suspicious. It's like it's kind of like the what do they call it when you're the things on 9/11? What were they doing? The simulations. You're doing like crashing into building simulations, and then some planes crashed into some buildings.
Well, that's the problem, right? All it takes is 2 truckers bitching about the roads, and they're going to say, "Oh, the truckers are protesting the roads, not the vax mandates." You know, this is what they're just. I'm so suspect of anything that comes out of the.
They do have a story now that says that there is a convoy against vax mandates.
Yeah, do they? That's good. Good for them. They finally succumbed to the pressure.
I try and stay off of Twitter. It's just a cesspool, and I think it's all bots, man. I just keep going more and more down this bot thing. That it's just a bunch of fucking like manufactured dissent. Ooh, that'd be a good book. Write that down. Possible book title.
Yeah. Who was telling me that there's some
because I noticed you don't get revved up like that in our chats, and maybe that's because it's an echo chamber, but I found myself spending a little more time on the Facebook account, and it just seems like a little less toxic over there for some reason. I don't know why. Maybe just because I haven't spent a lot of time over there, and I'm just trying it now. But I think it's also that it's a little more like it doesn't seem like I don't see as much of the. I don't know what it is about Twitter, man, but holy fuck! I mean, it's hard to find positive anything on there. It's hard to be like, I'd go on there and try and be positive, and it's even hard. You just get comments on your positive shit calling you a blowjob. So,
I wanted to show you a Twitter thing that I followed through Vaccine Choice Canada. It was a guy that put out 7 tweets, and it was amazing the way he had talked about the
a thread, a nice little thread.
Yeah, it was like 7 of them, and it was just incredibly well written about what's happening right now. And I meant to actually save it for this segment.
Twitter's a bit of a shit show. It really is not the best way to get a hold of me anymore. I know I was DMing with Gainsford the other day, and I was like, I got to get your phone number or something because it's just too much DMs and messages, and I can no longer commit to getting back to everyone. That's
what I've been telling people on Insta too, but I feel like a boomer. I'm like, can you please email me about coming on the show? Because I'm not going to check the DMs.
No show correspondence is happening on social media. That's just crazy. You can set up the email, but any booking has to happen via email. I couldn't imagine. I mean, I think your Instagram's probably as busy or busier than Twitter. Just nonstop.
No, I don't know. I don't think so.
Nonstop. These motherfuckers don't sleep.
I got a quote for you.
What kind of quote? A profound one?
Yeah.
Remember when they were all UFO quotes? Oh my God.
I know. I was saving up UFO quotes. I went through like 300 of them.
Okay, wait. To be clear, the last like 100 or so were not very profound. It was like, look, there's a UFO.
Dude, I picked them.
Sergeant.
Obviously, with the more profound ones at the beginning. I mean,
did you ever expect to do 300 of them?
No, I don't know. I had this huge document with all these quotes from all these famous people. Oh my
God, it seems like another fucking show.
Yeah, it does.
Profound UFO quote.
You ready?
And then there's the X-Files one too. Remember the old X-Files jingle?
Yeah.
Oh man.
Okay, you could probably guess this one. This is
All right, I'll try.
It's the profound quote of the week. Darren, can you guess it? It's the profound quote of the week. Can you guess the human who spoke it or wrote it down?
Okay.
Profound quote of the week.
The conscious and intelligent manipulation of the organized habits and opinions of the masses is an important element in democratic society. Sorry, already laughing. Those who manipulate this unseen mechanism of society constitute an invisible government, which is the true ruling power of our country. We are governed, our minds are molded, our tastes formed, our ideas suggested, largely by men we have never heard of. This is a logical result of the way in which our democratic society is organized. How is that a logical result?
Nesta H. Webster.
No. Nice try. It's
got to be from one of the books you're reading.
No. Vast numbers of human beings must cooperate in this manner if they are to live together as a smoothly functioning society.
Edward Bernays.
Oh, yeah. Good one.
Bingo bango.
You got it. Good one.
I need to read his book.
So,
I'm reading
I don't know. Does that make sense? This is a logical result of the way in which our democratic society is organized. How is that a result of the way it's organized? Because people are basically manipulating the masses. It's the whole reason why people argue that democracies might not work, right? Because how was it? What was it like Etienne on Outlawed said? It's like a wolf and a chicken arguing over what's for dinner or something like that.
What?
Okay.
I think that I don't know. I think, well, clearly I don't, I mean, that's just like a different way around the control structure, because I don't think we're meant to do, I mean, those guys in IM and stuff say we're meant to do democracy because that's what the deer do when they look at the watering hole. But I'm not convinced. I mean, I bought that shit back in the day when I wasn't hunting. Now I'm hunting. Now I think Thom Hartman is full of shit about the deer all looking at the watering hole together and them all wandering down there when 51% of the deer look at the thing. That's not how it works. It's very clearly an alpha-driven environment.
Oh, I see what you're saying, because you're a hunter. So
yeah, now I'm spending time in the wilderness with the deer. A lot more time, I would argue, than Thom Hartman. You should have Thom on the show. He's a lovely guy. Anyway, I don't buy it. So,
but even if you did, it doesn't mean that that's the way humans are. I mean,
exactly. I mean, if I look back historically over time, if it's true, is we seem to defer to authority, whether it's a chief or a chieftain or, fill in the blank, a king, a prince, whatever the Russian ones were called. Now it's an oligarch. And we don't like it so much because it's too many people. But I think arguably we'd be fine if it was 50 of us and I was a chief. Or you were that'd be weird.
Who was saying, that was with the Viking. I was listening to our upcoming guest about the Vikings and how for the longest time, when you look at the true Vikings and how they lived in little 50 people sort of tribes.
We all did, I think. Until we got into agriculture, we all did. That's how we rolled. It's like Indians had the bands that big, the clans, mostly the clans, and the clans would be part of a bigger band that would meet up once in a while. Usually in the surplus season. Summer and fall when everything's in abundance and you can feed a few hundred people a little easier. But there seems to be just that natural sort of, someone was deciding when it was time for the clan to move on, right? I mean, I should look into that a little more because I found out recently that my family was the head of a clan, the Communism clan. So
wow, really?
Yeah, how all that worked.
Is a clan a bunch of tribes together, or is it?
No, the clan would have been a group of it's more like a big extended family.
Right. Okay.
So that'd be the Communism, like the surname. So like cousins and
yeah.
And then when it got so big, well, maybe the head son would go and the oldest son might go and start or the oldest daughter, whichever, would go start a new thing. But there definitely seems to be this thing that we're like hardwired to refer to authority in some way, but I think it's like hijacked by modern society because we're supposed to have like a very large say in that authority. Like if it was 50 people, I could say, well, look, Graham, I don't think it's a good idea to go down and get some water today. It's a little cold out. It might be frozen. I know you're thirsty, but... And you might say, yeah, all right, that's a pretty good idea, Darren. All right. I'll refer to your judgment on this one. Whereas now it's like Trudeau. I can never even get a word in edgewise with the fucking guy. You know what I mean? It's never going to happen. It's never going to happen.
Plus, there was probably consequences of continually lying to your tribe back then.
Well, yeah, there would have been, right? Exactly. And you just couldn't have done it without getting caught.
Do I get to talk about the book I'm reading right now?
I think it's all hijacked. It's like a hijacked innate thing. And I'm not saying like, oh, folks, Darren thinks we're slaves. I'm not saying that. But we've seen most of us, and I'm not one of those people personally. But most people would rather lead than follow. Would rather follow than lead. They just don't agree on who they're following because it's too big of a fucking motherfucker. If they could just pick between maybe a couple dozen people, they could probably find someone they like. And maybe I'm wrong about that. But in my experience in various leadership positions over the years is that most people don't want to be in that position. Even people who very much have the skill set to do it, and you talk to them about it, and they're like, no, not interested in that. So,
yeah,
I've got good buddies like that have everything that could be like
a leadership potential,
that have huge leadership potential that are just like, no, man, that sounds like a headache I am not interested in.
Yeah.
Or a responsibility.
I don't know, but maybe that's getting worse then. I mean, maybe I feel like 20 years ago.
Well, I mean, this is what I tell my kids sometimes.
Now, like, I wouldn't want to be the manager in a company.
This is what I tell my kids sometimes.
Global or North American marketing and stuff. I was like, it'd be fucking scary. You kidding me?
The beauty about all this is it's going to be so much easier for you guys to excel. I mean, honestly, the dumbification if you guys stay on your toes, it's just going to be, from what I can see, is it's looking like in some ways different barriers to entry are harder. And that's maybe to be like on a super, super high level, but just to like, you know, it's going to be easier to do your own thing, because I think less and less people it's instead of more inclined with the more possibilities, I feel like it's going in the opposite direction. People don't have the self-responsibility anymore. And I think that's going to get worse to try and do their own thing. I mean, there's so many people that I've just like tried to talk into trying something else or doing something different or nudging that, you know, I'm sick of hearing you talk about how much you hate this. Have you ever thought of this, or this? And, you know, their eyes just sort of glaze over. Like, what are you talking about, man? It's like, okay. Yeah. And I think that's getting worse to the point where,
right.
Where so it'll be like, sure, I think the YouTube market will be tough. If my kids want to be YouTubers, that's going to be tough because there's going to be a billion kids trying to be YouTubers. But if they want to be maybe a writer or different things like that, or start a business and things like that, I think those avenues are going to be, depending on what happens in the future. But I think it's I think you can uniquely parent your kids right now to have a huge advantage when they're older.
Yeah, that's a good point. But then they're going to have to contend with the government not wanting as many small businesses around either, and sort of big businesses taking over small businesses. Like that is a different, I mean, making it have you jump through hoops to open up a business. There's all that kind of stuff. But I do.
That's always been a problem. Saying. The barriers to entry are still smaller than they've ever been in 99% of industries.
Yeah. Maybe.
So it says. So you want to talk about your book? Then we can try and sell some books.
Should I? I mean, I don't know.
Well,
so we're doing the next one of the new audiobooks coming out is going to be called Secret Societies and Subversive Movements. Thus, Darren sort of guessing that I was bringing a quote in from that, which was a good guess. Nesta Webster, I think. Nesta Webster.
Buddy, I can read you like a book. You post your little highlighted things in the chats, right?
Well, I did one time. Can I read that one? I mean, no.
Save it for next week.
Yeah,
because then the book might be out. Wait till the book's out.
But anyways, this book is about it's talking about the present, which was 100 years ago. So the present of the secret societies and subversive movements. So it talks about modern Freemasonry and how there's the difference between like the English Lodge and the Grand Orient, which gets blamed for a lot of the sort of global overreach. Talks about the other secret societies in England, open subversive movements, pan-Germanism, the real Jewish peril, the conclusion. I mean, it's pretty interesting. And then I'm going to go back and read part one, which is the Templars, 3 centuries of occultism, the origins of Freemasonry, the ancient secret tradition, the Grand Lodge. Like this is going to be one of my favorite books, probably the Bavarian Illuminati. It's really interesting.
Graham, everything's my favorite. Dunlop.
Remember Robinson, that book we did, Robinson, Proofs of Conspiracy? He keeps quoting that book and he talks about Robinson.
Yeah, I heard it come up a few times.
Because Robinson it's so weird. The press was just as bad back then, right? Just like all the Charles Fort books I read. I mean, he was constantly slagging the press and the astronomy and the science that just accepts this data because it fits their paradigm and rejects this data or ignores it or suppresses it. I mean, it's just been going on for so much longer than we thought.
The book sales haven't updated since the No Agenda showed out. So maybe it's because we sold so many books. We broke the glitch. Glitched it.
So yeah, this one will be coming out soon. And Ancient Egypt will be coming out soon too, which was interesting.
Ancient Egypt. Well, no, it won't be coming out soon. You read one small part of it.
But you're putting out.
I put that out, but you can't say Ancient Egypt. It'll be coming out soon.
Well, book one will be, right?
One, yes. Volume one.
One will be.
So what you can say is sign language as blah, 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 whatever the weird ass tells. You can say that is coming out soon. But something tells me you're going to be another month or two on Ancient Egypt.
Well, dude, it's like a 1,000-page book.
And you're cramming other stuff in between.
Yeah. That was kind of like a Hamlet's Mill and a secret doctrine in a way, like talking about how the ancient Egypt is the sort of origin of a lot of symbolism and sign language and other parts. And it's pretty interesting.
We're going to Egypt. course, I don't know if it'll get past the wait lists. There's a couple wait lists of people waiting, and there's only so many spots. So if there's any spots left at the end of the month, we're going to open it up, and we'll give the URL out and the password out to the website to sign up. But unfortunately, we're gonna give that 7 days to go through the wait list, and there's like twice as many people at least on the wait list as there is spots available. So that be a lesson that if you missed out, next time you're gonna want to get on that motherfucking wait list. That's what they're there for. Contact@thecabin.com if you want to get on any of those other trips, adventures, workshops, and theme-based tours. There's about 5 of them up there right now. You can make a deposit, get in on one of them. Adultbrain.ca if you want to check out all those audiobooks we were talking about. There's 36 titles available for purchase right now. There's 4 more in review that will probably be out by the end of the week. By next week's show, there'll probably be another 4 more out. And we got Subversive Movements will get submitted right away. Part 2 will be submitted in the next day or 2. And adultbrain.ca, get an audiobook today. Helps out. Even if you don't have Audible yet, you can get one for free, because Audible will give you a free month and a free book. I think you have to give them a credit card number or something, so you just have to cancel it within the 30 days, and then it's free, but you get a free thing and a free book, and we still get paid. So you could try that, and you get to listen to one of Graham's lovely little books. And head over to gramerica.ca/support. Support the show, guys. We can't do the show without you. Couldn't do it without you. We wouldn't be here without you. And if we don't have you, we'll have to stop. What do you got? Yeah, you can do it after this. You're after, okay? gramerica.ca/support. Sign up for a monthly today. Make a one-time donation. Head over to gramericaoutloud.ca. Check out that podcast. Whatever you can do, whenever you can do it. If you can support the show, it helps us keep going and keep growing around here. And if the support dries up, so does the show. Sign up today. All right, Graham, what do you got?
Mark England, he's the founder of Procabulary, which we talk a little bit about, the language, using good language, proper language for manifesting things and changing your life, basically. And he's also head coach of this Enlifted.me, the certification for coaches, expands skill sets and grows your services and increases your impact on your clients' lives. He's got a great TEDx too from a few years ago. You can find all that from the links in our show notes.
You could show up in Arizona still. You might show up with Brandon. That'll be all right. All right, guys. Yeah. Enjoy the chat. Mark England.
Mark England, thanks for spending some time with us in Grimerica. Welcome.
Gentlemen, thank you for having me on.
Yeah, I've been looking forward to this. I was watching your TED Talk and learning about your Procabulary a little bit and some other stuff. And I mean, geez, it's a fantastic topic. Fits right in with some of the stuff we try to do here. So how you been?
I've been well and entertained. So since I was living in SoCal right around the time that COVID hit, about 2 years ago, and I took a look around, and I'm like, either am I gonna navigate whatever the fuck this is? Hope it's all right for me to drop F-bombs.
It is, yeah.
Cool. Here, or am I going to go back to Central Virginia, where we have a family farm? Got some acreage. Then the neighbors like us. We like the neighbors, and so I've been back in Virginia, up in the mountains, typing on my keyboard and working and having having fun.
Wow.
Having some parties too.
So you noticed like pretty early that things were going to get a little hairy down there?
I didn't know what to expect, and rural Virginia versus SoCal gridlock. It was no question.
Right.
So I bolted, and I've been up here. Been here for two years, and I'm about to venture back out though.
Oh yeah, where to?
We're myself and Kimberly Kesting, who's our community manager for the Enlifted coaches. We're going to SoCal on Tuesday. We've got 3. We went out there. We're going out there to do the Paul Check podcast in person, and we're a big fan of his. He's a living legend in the fitness industry, and doing his show out there, and Shervin's show, the guy that owns Symbiotica, and then one of the biggest CrossFit gyms. We're going to go present for their coaches. So it's
nice.
A bang, bang, bang.
Nice. So what have you been working more with your vocabulary over the last couple of years, or what's been the latest thing you've been working on?
We started certifying coaches. So I've been doing this.
Oh, that's fantastic. Yeah.
It's awesome. It's absolutely, it's fantastic. It scratches checks 2 of the biggest boxes for me. So everybody, I'm one of the co-founders and head coach of Enlifted, which is we certify coaches on how to get people unstuck, also known as dismantling the victim mentality using everyday ordinary language, also known as breaking spells by definition. I'm very happy to get into all of that. Over the past 3 years, we transitioned to certifying coaches, and I get to teach something that has helped me profoundly change the story I tell myself about myself, and turn the volume way down on my own victim mentality, which does a lot of cool things. Amongst one of the main things is unlocking the breath. We're very interested in helping people unlock their breath, get it out of their chest, get it down in their abdomen, low and slow, as we say in the game. And from there, people are it's a lot harder to scare and manipulate people when they're breathing well.
Totally.
Yeah. Breath is so important. I mean, I can't always
do it though.
I'm always, like you said, I didn't until I heard you talk about it with, I think I listened to your show with Matt from Matt Belair. It was fantastic. You guys talking about it. And it was, I'm always in this like really like low breath state, but working with, Brandon Powell and doing that Wim Hof, it sort of brought the awareness a little bit more, and through meditation as well, lots of meditation over the years, but I still during the day have a hard time. I mean, I even had an app on the alarm on my phone would pop up every day, say deep breath, like take a deep breath.
Yeah, I can't do it. I can't do the breath work.
And I'm always telling Maria,
good for me.
and I'm always telling Maria to do it too. Breathe, because she doesn't breathe, right? She's got chronic pain all the time, and she doesn't breathe. So that's so important.
The average person takes 200 sighs a day, and that's because the breath is
oh
people are
my
in.
God.
I know, right? Most people are walking around. Ask any yoga teacher that's been in the game for just even a little bit of time. Almost everybody's walking around in an upregulated sympathetic nervous system response state, also known as a stress response, and their breath is trapped in the chest. And when people reside there, they get fixated on things. It's called amygdala hijack. So they get fixated. Their ability to listen goes down. They have a hard time accessing their actual physical peripheral vision, and their creative faculties. So once a group of people, an individual or a group of people are scared, and you magicians know this. The people that script the news know this. Our man, Dr. Robert Malone, came out and he introduced the concept of mass formation psychosis to everybody on Rogan a couple weeks ago. You lock their attention on something, and it's a motherfucker to get it off. It's a spell.
Yeah, you can't. And in fact, you might as well not even try. In some ways, you might as well try and work on the people that are at least don't know what to do and are ready to do something.
100%. And another shout out to Brandon Powell. He's our breathwork coach for our Enlifted coaches community. He comes in once a month. We have a consistent conversation about the importance of we have a saying, good breathing equals good coaching. Because if you're breathing well, you're establishing rhythm, and you can listen.
Wow, that's amazing. I don't know where I want to go with this.
I can't do the breath work, you know.
But you're talking about the regular during the day. We're talking about just like even being
breathing.
conscious of it during the day, right? Like I don't, like I do like Brandon's kind of thing about every couple of days I do a session myself. Oh, here's something you might be interested in that you might be able to help with. I mean, I know Brandon's probably the guy to talk to, and we'll be with him next month. But since I had COVID, my breath holds have gone from like 3 minutes to 1.5. Now they're down to 1 minute, which is kind of freaky. But I don't have any normal issues through the day. But my breath hold that I used to feel like I could go forever is disappearing.
Well,
have you heard of that before?
Bioweapons are a bitch.
Yeah.
What about also, to put this into context, he also hasn't really left the house for a few months. So I feel like that could also be playing a factor.
Fair enough. And you're in the game of, you're in the conversation about breath awareness and developing your breathing. And you know, I know I'm referencing coaching a lot, and I've been doing this full time, somewhere between full time and overtime the whole time for 15 years. So it's one of the main lenses I see things through. We tell our coaches, good luck changing someone's mind while their breath is trapped in their chest. Get it lower, get it slower. They're going to be much more psychologically and emotionally malleable. And it all starts with awareness. Yeah. Which
is also getting into, you know, using awareness for your vocabulary too, and what we say to each other, and like your experience, you know, when you kind of switch careers and your whole life's changed around, and this is so important because that's another sort of spell, right? Spells that we cast on ourselves every day, all the time. You know, whether it's thoughts or words, but how to fix that thinking, right?
Yeah, and it comes down to, gentlemen, and I was a teacher before I got involved in this line of work. I taught elementary school PE. I've got a degree in education. I can take a shit on it. And I got brought up in the public school system. Most people's education about their language comes down to spelling, grammar, and definitions. There's a whole other side to the conversation, dare I say, and I do dare say, a metaphysical side of the conversation. How our language influences our imagination, our feelings and emotions, our posture, to keep it simple, and our breath. And it does it to say that it's consistent in influencing those aspects, and of course some other, you know, the other peripheral stuff. And we're good at keeping it simple. It's quite reliable. And when people start to learn that there's a game to be played, that anyone can, with a little bit of interaction, I'm going to give some very easy exercises in this conversation that people can do, that they can have an experience about for themselves of changing some seemingly everyday ordinary language, and they will feel better, and things will look better, and their breathing capacity will expand. And we're working with spells by definition. Webster's definition of a spell is a word or a combination of words of great influence. That's it. And some spells are expansive in nature. Okay, they make things look bigger and brighter and more spacious in our imagination, and they create lighter and brighter feelings and emotions, energy. They allow us to breathe better. You maintain them. The posture starts to improve. And then there's constrictive, restrictive spells. Spells that make things seem like they're coming in on you, and create those boogie monster scary pictures and dense energy, trap the breath in the chest. And this is, I'm familiar with y'all's podcast, so I can go a little bit deeper into some of these side topics. Rudolf Steiner, he said, any force that seeks to constrict or control is by definition Luciferian. And so, you know, we teach people how to use this. Is it a pen or is it a magic wand to write things down and then go from something called conflict language? We translate it out and get people out of these stress responses that their words and their stories are driving, and get into better they use their word. Most people's language works against them, fellas.
Yeah.
We help people's language. We help people get their language working for them, so they stay focused on what's important to them. Keep the emotional gas tank high, and turn the drama down. And it's easy.
All through your own thoughts and words, right? I mean, that could really change your daily perceptions, and along with that, health, your reality, everything will shift.
For sure.
Yeah,
for sure.
But it's hard. I mean, negative self-talk is, I went through addiction like 13 and a half years ago. So I've been through the whole trying to reprogram everything. Cause I used to, my self-hate was super high. I was a victim of addiction and all that kind of stuff. So, I've had to experience all that changing myself, but I still get into negative, self-talk and, not feeling good enough or not being good enough, that kind of stuff. But I do have some more awareness around it, which I never had before. But I guess I wanted to get into, so how do people so writing stuff down, the conflict language, how do people start to reprogram their thinking or their speech?
Great question. The answer is the same with the breath, which is raising an awareness that there are numerous ways that we can tell ourselves a story about ourselves to ourselves. There are numerous ways that we can interpret a situation, and let's get into this via a story of when I've fallen in love on sight twice. First was with jiu-jitsu. In 1996, I wrestled in high school. Fine, I pin you, you pin me. It was good enough. The first time I got choked, though, in a jiu-jitsu class, I was like, oh, my God. And I went super deep into that for 6 years. I fought in MMA, what before was called MMA, in the mid and late 90s and early 2000s, and moved over to Thailand. The plan was go over for a year, polish up my Thai boxing skills, come back and go pro. That's not what happened. 6 months in, and you can hear the tiny violins playing in the background. I jacked my knee up for a second time because my addiction was fighting. That was my main addiction, because that was the Band-Aid. That was how I proved to myself and the world that I wasn't scared and I wanted to be seen as a tough guy. I loved the identity, and it was the thing that kept the Band-Aid on my fears of not being good enough, and that there was something wrong with me and I was somehow doomed to fail. Technically, all that's called a telephobia, folks. The fear of not being good enough. It's what a lot of this stuff boils down to. And so I go over there, jack my knee up, have my second knee surgery 6 months in, and darkness descends. And I used that fail, what I saw as a fail at the time, as proof, evidence that there was really something wrong with me. And I was never going to make it. Okay. Wasn't good enough. You took a shot and you just wrecked it. It's over. The doctor told me that. He goes, your career as a fighter is over. You could become a very good swimmer. I make a picture of doing laps next to grandma in a pool, like not exactly what I had in mind. And I didn't laugh for a year. Like, that's a weird scenario. It's a weird experience. I didn't laugh for a year. I might not have even smiled authentically for a year. And I get tired of myself. Thank God I saw what that path looked like, at 50, 55, 60. It's like, dude, are you going to be whining about this 30 years from now? I was 26 at the time. And I said, I'll take anything but that. I'll take anything but that. And I ended up living in Thailand for a decade. It still sounds weird to say. 5 years in Bangkok as a sports teacher, and then 5 years down on Koh Samui, as that's where I started coaching, counseling. Anyway, I went down to this place called the Spa, which will bring up two important points. In 2003, because I needed some help, I needed to do something different with myself. I was a fucking mess. And I went down and did this 7-day cleanse program where you pay to not eat. It's a great gig. You take the magic detox shakes and the pills, and you come back lighter. And I felt better. I said, I can participate differently. I'm going back. The third time down, there was a gentleman. I'm speaking to him tomorrow. I haven't seen him in 2 years. Barry Musgrave. He's 80 years old. He's still doing the work, living in Greece. There was a gentleman by the name of Barry Musgrave doing a workshop on emotional detoxification. And Mark, in all his wisdom, snickered at the name. I went, though. Guess what he talked about? Words, stories, identity. And then he asked, is there anybody that's hung up on a story? And this woman shot her arm up quick. And it was a stinger breakup. I mean, everybody can go, ooh, on that. Her and her friends get a house down at the beach for beach week. Her boyfriend and all his friends get a house right next door. Okay. This is in college. You know the story. Press play, add alcohol, drama ensues. He hooks up with one of her best friends in front of everybody the night before and then dumps her in front of everybody else the next night. Ouch. And she hadn't gotten in a relationship for 4 years because she was hung up on the story. And he had her play it through 3 times. First time through, angry and tears. Second time through, he started tinkering with the way she was wording the story. And you could see things starting to loose up. Now she's sad, no tears. Third time through, he stopped her at the Lord of the Rings of all the sentences, the one that bound them all. And it went like this. He did that to me. And he made a very clear example. He's like, everybody, did you hear that? He did that to me. Yes. I said, great. At the end, take out me and put in himself. And her world went from flat to round. And it was such a departure from that victim story because there's certain things called projections, folks. It's a way of wording a sentence that it's going to work for Einstein. It's going to work for me. Everybody in between. If you construct your sentences in a certain way, you're going to create a victim-villain mental imagery. You're going to create that dynamic. He did that to me. He's in the picture. She's in the picture. He's doing something to her. She's on the receiving end. Nothing she can do about it. She has to wait for him to change his behavior before she can feel better. Good luck. Don't hold your breath. Hello, stress response. Hello, breath trapped in the chest. Hello, repetition. Because usually it's not, people usually don't have 900 stories that haunt them. It's a handful that they play on repeat. And bet the farm they have not written those stories down conversationally with detail, which is something else we'll talk about if y'all want to. The fastest way that I know of after 15 years deep in the game to break spells of that nature. And she said it like a question. It was so foreign. He did that to himself, and then you see her and hear her talk herself into a new story. He did, and she's looking around. He did do that to himself, and then she told the story of what happened after that, which was that guy's social credit score tanked. He lost friends, and she goes, and now that she's got different perspective and a little bit of, well, it was actually a lot, emotional freedom. She goes, that was never going to work anyway. The guy was really weird.
Yeah, exactly.
I said, that's not my story, but that's my story. And that was the second time I've fallen in love on sight, and it's held my attention since then. And I'm so grateful for this work because I'm a horrible student. When I'm bored, bad things happen. When I'm into things that I enjoy and I find interesting, better things happen.
So when you say sentence structure, are you talking about thoughts as well? So it's the sentence that you speak and the sentence that you think as well, right?
Very, very good question. So when both. So when I refer to language, I'm talking about
internal and external
dialogue and external dialogue. What we think, what we say, and what we write.
Right.
And those three things are so close to home. It's the easiest thing in the world to miss. Right between our ears, right under our nose, right at the tips of our fingers. And let's just talk about seduction. I mean, what's more seductive than our own voice in our own head? It's up there.
So when we talk about manifesting things or reprogramming your thoughts, or, you know, there's these different sort of schools of thought on the present tense. Like, where should you be? Like, where should you be manifesting from? If you're going to be, let's say you're using affirmations or something, and every day you want to do something, you want to, you know, there's the, you know, I can do this. There's the, I will do this. There's the, I am this already. Like, I'm already there. That's hard. That's hard for me to grasp, but there's different schools of thought on, you know, how you should be speaking that, you know, because you don't want to add the negative thing in there. I will not, you know, do this, because then you're throwing do this into your.
Oh, if people could hear how
the pink elephant.
People could
thing,
hear
right?
my self-talk, they would be like, "Oh my god, this guy!
He's
what
very
a
abusive to
fucking
yourself, or
character."
what?
Oh no, I'm good to myself, man, all the time.
You're just giving yourself.
I'm a superstar.
You're just
I
justifying all your
handled-
bad behavior.
Yeah,
and
probably
rationalizing all your you know.
that too.
Yeah.
That too. Probably a bit of that, but I always know where I'm going, and I always know how I'm getting there. And I mean, sometimes I feel like, whoa, bro, I think you're like cocky. You're being conceited. You got to slow down. So, and you try and balance it, but at the same time, you gotta, I think that's important, you know, and I do my own.
Well, there's a difference between confidence.
I
and
do my own
cockiness, right?
self-assessment, you know, I do my own self-assessment. I'm my harshest critic, you know, in due time, but during the day when things are like happening, I'm very upbeat on my self-talk. You know, to the point of like, sometimes I just feel like, sometimes it feels like it's not fair
to other people.
Yeah.
What a guy. So, I mean, but do you
Well,
start
but
with,
that's just because
I
that,
like it. I approve of that message. I mean, you know, you need to be your own hype man. Because guess what? If you got a raging victim-centric story about yourself, all the nudges and the hugs and the attaboys and the go-get-its and, you know, the you got this is those are they will be short-lived. The boost. So yeah, good.
I
Great.
feel bad for other people that, not because they're not me, because I don't think I'm anything special. You know, anyone could have done what I've done or couldn't be doing what I'm doing, but they're not. They're just drifting along, and that's sad. I feel bad for them. You know, it's like life's hard for them. You know, is it really hard? That's not my place to say. That's not my assessment that life's hard for them. That's their assessment that life's hard for them. Or at least 9 times out of 10, that's going to be their assessment. Life's too hard. It's not fair. Rich people this. And I mean, I bitch about Bezos and Amazon. I've tried to bitch less because, I mean, I'm in business with the motherfucker. But, and at least out of all those guys, he provides real services that I enjoy. The other guys are just ruining society. Like, I mean, like the social media companies are a real fucking mess. I think Amazon's not good. It could probably be broken up into some smaller companies. But I'll leave it at that. I don't want to get into that whole conversation. But there's like, it's not that I feel bad for people, because it's just because they don't, you know, it's harder for them, and that's because they think it's harder for them. In a lot of ways, there are some people, there isn't a quality of the opposite outcome, I guess. There isn't quality of outstart. There's not quality of starting point. You know, like in a lot of ways, I have a good job too. So I had a good job the whole time I was building this stuff in the background. If I was living in a third world country and didn't have the internet, or, you know, there's some different scenarios where I couldn't have maybe built what I was able to build. But I mean, I definitely didn't have anything fucking handed to me. I moved out here with a duffel bag and stuff like that. But it was just like, and there was a real time, you know, probably even when I first met Graham, that I could have just been, you know, not a train wreck of a life, but definitely probably what I would have called a waste of a life. You know, I would have kind of just did fine in my day job and sort of lived paycheck to paycheck for the rest of my life. And I was able to sort of transcend that through probably the podcast. Really was the biggest step. And having kids was a big one too, but then the podcast turns out to be a giant one. And I don't know. It's like there's not a quality of starting point. There's also not a quality of effort. And I mean, that's what I'm just trying to justify why I said it's not fair to other people, because it's not, I'm not trying to say that I'm better than anyone. I'm just saying that they're not bothering. And they're not gonna their whole life. I mean, that's the shitty part of it. Is like, these are people that I'm friends with, that I'm interacting with on a daily basis. And, some of them I don't bother anymore because I've got countless friends now. Probably not countless, but, more than I can count on one hand that I've tried to pull out of the matrix, to inspire and to trying this or trying that, and it just, it falls on deaf ears to the point that I don't kind of bother anymore. And it's just like, it's sad when someone's not going to maybe not even realize potential, but not even bother to try.
You put this podcast out there, you facilitate events for people. That's a very big deal. Great on you for having a story that works for you and keeps you in the game and builds you up so much so that you've got extra to share with other people. That's the name of the game. And you said something that I tell the students all the time, because they see me present and they're like, okay, yeah, if I can do this, so can you. There's nothing special about me, right? Anyone can change the way they talk.
Yeah. So if I was to do these affirmations, let's say, and there's the difference between, I can be something, I will be something, or I am something. Is there a preference that you like if you're shortening down your sort of vocabulary and your affirmations to, like, am I trying to pretend that I am that already, or that I will be that?
Got it.
Or that I
definitively,
or that I can be that,
Yeah. Here's what you want to work with. It's called believability factor. If you are working with someone, that someone could be yourself, you need to find out where you are psychogeographically speaking, and find out. I am much more of a fan of moving things one step forward at a time and socializing that new space. So if someone writes down, I will work out 3 times a week for the next year. They set a goal like that. They use I will. And it's hard for them to connect with that. It's hard for them to relate to that. Back it up. Back it up to can. I can. That could be easier for them to get on board with. And sometimes could used consciously is the most, that could puts everything on the table. I could start my own business. I could enroll in this course. I could, and here's the we've run more supercharger affirmations workshops than I can count. Here's the thing. With affirmations, yes, you want to make them affirmative. So there's a difference between I don't want to be overweight and I want to
be healthy.
Be healthy. And so you want them to be pointing in the right direction. You want to have some metrics in there. There's a difference between I want to be healthy and I want to weigh 185 pounds. Okay. And there's a difference between I want to weigh 185 pounds and I want to weigh 185 pounds by July 1st and maintain that for the rest of the year. Right. And you want to do one thing at a time. How many times, there's another thing I stopped. If people come up to me and they've got an affirmation that's a medium-sized paragraph, one sentence, there's 9 different things in it, talking about travel and soulmates and business and amount of money, and they're going to own 2 houses and no, get short single statements that are practical, as in you can practice them. And here's the kicker. Here's where the word supercharge comes in. Very rarely does anyone have any sentences written down that will benefit their life. Out of the people that do, very rarely are they practiced. Well, not very, let's just go rarely. Are they practiced out loud? Okay. Now, here's the thing. What you want to do is you want to get a breath in between each one. So you can pick, let's say you have 5 affirmations, state the affirmation at about 80% of your normal rate of speech. When you slow down your rate of speech, you're going to feel the words more. That's very important. And then get a breath in there. Breathe in. Breathe out. When affirmations are recited and the breath is trapped in the chest, it is simply a mental exercise. It's a head job. Okay? When the breath is included, okay, that brings the entirety of the person into the conversation, and it's known as socializing the idea, embodying the concept, or taking it to heart. And it creates a much better rhythm, okay? So breathe in between your affirmations and watch what happens. Watch what happens.
Yeah, that's great advice. And I love the believability part. Now it makes sense to me. Like, that's why sometimes me pretending that I am something else instead of saying I will do it or I could do it feels like faking it till I make it kind of thing or something. Like, I don't want, I don't feel like authentic if I'm saying, oh, I am this, which I'm not. I might be in 2 years, but
sure.
For me, it resonates more probably that I will become that or something.
Exactly. What's the easiest thing for people to get on board with right now? Rep it with breath. Keep going until it's a matter-of-fact statement. Yes, I can do X, Y, and Z, and then move them to will. Okay?
Yeah.
You'll do so much better than, I mean, I've been in a number of language-focused communities over the years, and some of them go to the past tense version immediately. I am 185 pounds and you're 220 pounds, and you're like, it's just, you can just tell the people's eyeballs glaze over. No. Let's back this thing up.
Yeah. That makes sense. What about people that have chronic issues, maybe pain issues? Like, because it's easy for somebody like me that I don't know, is fairly healthy and that intends and wants to experiment with stuff or try it out or try and have the intention to retrain my brain and my thoughts. But what if somebody's disturbed by physical pain so much that and maybe their negative thought patterns are playing a part in that, but it's not not the whole part. It might be exaggerating them or making them last longer or maybe come on faster, or you know what I mean? Like, but they're not, it's not all psychosomatic, but obviously that negative talk is not helping. How do we get somebody like in a physical chronic state to retrain their thought process?
First things first. Okay, let me get this on the table first. Very frequently, and I'm 45 years old now, and I feel great. Okay. At 26, I was in a lot of pain from the fight game. I had a knee that gave out, hurt. It was always hot. I sprung something out in my neck. I had firearm down one of my arms for 2 years. I thought 45, I was going to look like, bad. So I understand very well what it's like to be in chronic pain and how those stories quite easily and quickly influence our identity. Okay? So I can say this very comfortably. What I'm about to share with you is very, 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 very likely only going to help. Okay? Only going to help. What you want to do is title. So if it's a specific injury, a car accident, you fell off a ladder, some kind of traumatic event, very, very rarely do people ever write out. And we're not talking about journaling. Journaling is writing about how you feel about the thing that happened. Writing out, as in titling a specific memory. So let's just say a car accident. Someone gets in a car accident and someone ran a red light, not their fault. You want to title that specific memory and write it out conversationally. There's 4 steps to this process. And this right here, we are open source with our coaching technology for a couple of reasons. 1, it feels great to do that. And 2, we're beyond confident. I'll put this coaching system up against anything that's out there. 1, because it's simple. And this process that I'm going to share with you is called the 4-step Storywork process, or 4-stepping a story. There's 4 steps to it. I've used it on everything between procrastination and war crimes and torture, gnarly shit, and everything in between. And it works on the how of the story, or the mechanics of the story. There's a major difference, everybody. And if you're a coach, take this, use it, see what happens. If you're not, guess what? You got stories too. There's a huge difference between a story kept in the head and a story that is written out. A story that is kept in the head is seemingly infinite. Where does it start? Where does it stop? There's the worst part. Stress response. Rinse, wash, repeat. It's very hard to dialogue and coach someone out of that process. Story kept in the head versus a story that's written down. Take the pen. It might feel like it weighs 500 pounds. So what? A little bit of sting right now is way better than keeping that thing inside for a few decades and paying the tax on that. You title it, write it out conversationally in full sentences and punctuation as in it could go in a book. Now the thing is externalized. Now the story is out here. Now it's finite. Now it has a beginning and an end. Okay. And you've got distance between your eyeballs. And we're not going to quantum mechanics about this thing, but there's distance between your eyeballs and what you wrote down. That's step 1. That is so rarely done. And now if you're a coach, that just made your life so much easier, because you and your client are both staring at the same configuration of words, combination of words. Remember what the definition of a spell is? That takes so much of the guesswork out of it. That's step 1. Step 2, read it. Regular speed. And I'll say that in a second. Read at regular speed. Perfect. Step 3, slow down your rate of speech by roughly 30% and read it again. When someone slows down their rate of speech, the breath begins to descend. The breath begins to descend and the feels come up. That's a good thing. Okay. Step 4, let's say there's 4, there's 2 paragraphs, 4 sentences each, and the person is talking about a divorce that happened when they were 9, that's haunted them since that time, and it has influenced how they see themselves. And there's a belief system running that I got to take responsibility for everything / everything's all my fault. Okay, so step 4 is when you breathe at the periods. So if there's 2 paragraphs, 4 sentences each, you take your magic wand and draw a big line, thick line at the period. So you know when you get there, you stop and so it could sound like this. My parents take my sister and I into the kitchen. My mother's crying. My dad is stone-faced as usual. My father tells us we're getting a divorce. He says he's moving out and we're going to stay with mom in the house. He said it was not our fault and this is something they need to do. My little sister is under the table and crying. And I'm thinking, I should have been able to hold the family together. That right there, that story is going to pluck some of your listeners in the nose. If it does, good, in the sense that pick up a pen and write down whatever comes out. And let me show you this. So we are all about the mechanics of storytelling. The how is the way to go, folks. The why is overcooked. It's baked. Why am I talking myself out of opportunity? It's very different than how am I talking myself out of opportunity. Okay. Why do I keep having these same relationships with people versus how do I keep having these same relationships with people? How am I telling myself the story of the divorce or that I'm not good enough? When you get into the how, you're getting into the components, and then you can break it down and make it simple. So when the breath is trapped in the chest, back to this, that picture is in your face. Anywhere you look, there it is. It's personal. You're still in the story. It's subjective. As the breath descends, mechanics of storytelling, as the breath descends, the picture moves out. And as the picture moves out, I'm going from still in the story to observing the story. I'm going from subjective to objective. I'm literally giving myself breathing room, and I will change my own mind in my own way 99.99% of the time. What does that do for a coach's life? It gets you out of the rah-rah coach thing, that's amateur hour. So I'm going to know-it-all coach. I'm a 1-800-ANSWERS hotline coach. I'm going to get excited about you until you get excited about you. And I'm going to tell you how you could feel about something like that. Good luck telling someone to feel better about themselves when they've got these stories still inside of them of natures like that, some kind of abuse or misfortune. Those are in there. You're going to get the nice social nicety. They're going to smile. They're going to nod. Nothing's happening. It will reset itself. It will absolutely reset itself.
So that process of going through breathing after each sentence, it kind of dispels the weight of that story, or does it kind of disintegrate it in a way?
Yeah, take out the kind of. It does. It dispels the weight. Dispel means to cast out, by the way, and it dissolves the weight. As the breath, if I'm telling a story and my breath is trapped in my chest, I am in a certain physiological, psycho-emotional process, and I'm going to see things in a certain way. It's going to be scary. If I get my breath down, and we're known as the language people, okay? And gun to head, it's about the breath. We're here to help people unlock their breathing. They will have a completely different rhythm. Like I said earlier, they will be so much harder to manipulate. They'll be able to think more clearly and stay out of mass formation psychosis. There's that word again. And in my personal and professional opinion, the people that are driving a lot of the fear stories right now are all of that is riding on the shoulders of people's unresolved emotional stories from their childhood. Is what gets hooked into that.
It's the victimhood mentality that's creating the mass formation. I mean,
correct. The unresolved personal victim mentality stories, not these big picture Illuminati government fucking things, MK Ultra, which I can talk about. It's the foundation of those things is the personal story, unresolved victim mentality. The definition of the victim mentality, I'm going to take a little bit out of the middle. This is the verbatim definition. The victim mentality is an acquired personality trait where a person tends to regard himself or herself as the victim of the negative actions of others, even in the absence of clear evidence. The victim mentality depends on a habitual thought process and attributions. Those habitual thought processes are repeating stories configured in certain ways. And if you all want to do this is an inside out job. Okay. If you all want to majorly make yourself way more unfuckable with, go into the stories that still haunt you from high school or middle school or your parents and get those stories written out. I've seen this. I lived this actually. So side note, I go down and I start doing these detoxes, okay, eating organic food, all that stuff. And I go back, and this is in 2003 and 4 and 5. Back then, y'all remember the websites, they had the links on the side. So I'd go researching organic food, and then there's a link on the side that says, fuck Monsanto. I'm like, huh? What's Monsanto? And I'd go to a fuck Monsanto website, and it says, fuck vaccines. I'm like, what do you mean? I just got 10 Japan, Japanese encephalitis before I came over here. And I'd go and I'd research vaccines. I'm like, whoa, what the hell? And then on the vaccine, then it's down with the New World Order, fuck the Illuminati. And then on and on and on. And now then I'm on reading David Icke books and like steam's coming out of my ears. And back to that, the giving people a tool when people have unresolved emotional stories from their own personal stories and they come into contact with these larger stories of, let's say, The Great Reset, and Klaus Schwab just finished the audiobook today. Lovely read. I'm lying. And things of that nature, then it compounds itself. It makes it worse because, oh, well, I thought I was fucked up before. Now everything's totally, so it's even worse. So it can be a red pill at the wrong time. People can spin out. I did it.
Yeah, I mean, you got your work cut out for you now. I mean, what do you think about, I mean, we've been primed in this victimhood state for decades now. Yeah. It seems like people, that's their natural, I'm not trying to say these people again, but it seems like the natural state for people. I mean, it's anxiety and victimhood right now.
Yeah, it's the general setting. And that's very reasonable to say. Very reasonable to say. Huh.
Makes it easier, though, to get ahead. Maybe? I don't know.
Is that the selfish Darren again?
I guess. Well, I mean, I don't know. I do my best. Can't win them all.
How do you get people breathing regularly then, or being conscious of it? Like I tried that thing on my phone. It didn't work. You know, if I had it on there for years, I think 700 times it popped up and I just would ignore it. You know, I mean, how do I start breathing deeper, more consciously? Without, you know, not in like, you know, writing down a story and doing it like that, sure. Or actual sitting down and meditating, doing breath work is one thing, but recognizing it throughout the day. I mean, I'm trying.
Sure. Well, for you, I would recommend, and maybe you already know what this is. What's the most fun way that you can improve your breath? Because when people do things that are fun, they're most likely to keep doing it. So what's your most, I'm not looking for the best breath work in this particular conversation. I'm looking for the one that's the most enjoyable for you and the amount of time that's easiest for you to commit to. So
smoking joints.
Yeah.
That's
when you're pulling off that last part of the blunt, you invest an extra 10 seconds in getting the lungs involved. That's one piece of advice. You know, what's fun, what's practical, and chunk it down. So take it from saying, you know, I need to improve my breathing to I'm gonna breathe. I'm gonna do 1 10-minute breath session per day for the next 7 days. And then you pick the most fun breath work you got and do that. And that is a major win. And
you think just doing that on a regular basis in a specific session will help you throughout the day recognize your breath?
Oh, 100%. 100%. And, you know, potentially regular basis for you is not every day. I know for me, if I do, and I've got Brandon's recordings, like I said, he's a breathwork coach for the Enlifted. If I do one class a week, I breathe better throughout the week. And having said that, I talk about this stuff so much. I'm the head coach. I deliver all of the trainings for the certifications. We've had consistent overlapping certifications running for the past 2.5 years, and all that's me. And I talk damn near all day long about words and breath. Okay. So I'm constantly reminding myself about it. There's two other things for the audience. Okay. Because as the saying goes, he who feels it knows it, or she who feels it knows it. If you want to have an experience, okay, of changing some things, here's the macro exercise. 1, all you need to do is 1. In a conversation, it could be something, a professional conversation, a personal conversation, slow down your rate of speech by about 20%. Watch what happens.
Graham sounds super stoned when you do that.
Perfect.
Yeah.
You got it. You got it nailed. You got that nailed. What everyone else, y'all are going to feel your words. You're going to feel your words. And then from there, you can start to pick out what words influence you in the ways that you want and what words take you down a
darkness, that darkness you're talking about.
Yeah. And I give us some credit. We've done some things well. We have demystified the conversation about language. And we've also gamified it. Here's a fun game. It's called a soft talk challenge. Soft talk is one of the 3 pillars of conflict language. Conflict language, you got negations, projections, and soft talk. Negations, I can't keep living like this. I don't want to spend all my money. It's the don'ts, the wants, the can'ts, the isn't, the haven'ts. That's where the worry comes from. It forces you to stare at the worst case scenario. The projections, that's the venom. Those are the hardest to do because those are the ones that people are most emotionally attached to. My mother treats me like a child. She never lets me think for myself. The government's going to kill all of us. Like all that right there. They script the victim villain mental imagery and hello stress response. Soft talk is the easiest. This is where and it's also deep because it's where a majority of people's indecision comes from. Chronic indecision is very stressful. And there's only a handful of words. So everybody, get your pen, get a piece of paper, clean piece of paper, write these words down 5 times larger than you normally write them. I guarantee these words are in your language. I guarantee you would enjoy taking them out and becoming more solid and dare I say confident in your speech. The first word is like. It's like I'm procrastinating. Guess. I guess I'm drinking too much coffee. Take out the guess. You know you are. I think I need to spend more time with the wife. Think. Maybe. Possibly. Probably. Sort of. Kind of. I'm kind of self-sabotaging myself. And things will get very real when you take these words out of your... Because guess what? The soft talk keywords, it keeps everything at the end of your fingers and you don't have to make a change and you can kick the thing down the can. When you go from, I'm probably drinking too much to I'm drinking too much. Now it's made real and you have to, you're at the fork in the road. Things you will speed things up by taking these words
kidding.
out.
And you'll speed up your body, your vibration, your manifestations. I mean, imagine how much difference metaphysically that makes. That you're being direct with your thoughts and your words and your speech.
You clocked it. You clocked it. And it's the easiest thing to do because you just pluck these words out. Take that piece of paper, try, and hopefully, those are the last 2, put it up somewhere for 7 days where you're going to see it. Bathroom mirror seems to be the winner. That will raise your awareness about those words. And here's where you'll see this show up first in your text and email game. That's where you'll see the words first. It's different real-time conversing, editing your speech, especially if you're emotionalized about something. Who cares? Don't worry about that. Your email game is going to go up. Your text game is going to go up. And your interactions with the people that you're playing with. Because text and email is like a ping pong match. You know, you want to boom, 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 boom. Boom, boom. Nobody likes getting an email that's this long with 17 different things and maybe this and kind of that. No. Make them short, make them sweet, make them solid, send them. Watch what happens. Those are my 2 pieces of advice. Slow down your rate of speech, have a conversation, and take out some soft talk. I
love it. That's hard because I like listening to fast talkers. So I'm always trying to talk fast.
Fast talkers, bug
So
me.
that's going to be a tough one for me to slow that down.
Remember that time I was like hungover and we were driving home from Minneapolis and you put on that chat and it was like, I forget who it was. One of them was Grant Cameron and the other one might have been Mike Cleland. And these guys are both at like 1.25 all the time. And he had it on for a while and I was just like, shut it off. Shut it off. It's too much. It's just like.
Yeah.
One is okay, but if it too much, it was, and especially being a little, my brain's a little slower because I was drinking wine the night before. And I remember.
Sounds fun.
And it was a little too fast for me. It was definitely too fast.
So I'll try that. It's going to be hard. I I did it the other day because I heard you talking, and I thought, okay, I'll try it a bit. And I think I did it yesterday, and it was weird, very strange. Because I've been trying to do the opposite for a while on the podcast.
I thought your narration would slow you down.
No, I don't think so.
Because you're very paced on your reading.
Yeah, I don't know.
Because that's the main problem with people trying to narrate is they go too fast.
Yeah. Yeah, that's great advice. So is there anything else we missed out? Or, I mean, what else you got going on with, you're going to be coaching these people out of their victimhood and teaching them how to breathe? I mean, do most of these people not breathe? Like most people up here in their chest?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. So, people say, I've got tight shoulders. I'm like, oh, you're holding your breath. Or I clench my jaw all the time. Oh, you're holding your breath. Or for all the guys out there, I suffer from premature ejaculation. Oh, you mean you're holding your breath while you're fucking? So it's like you get your breath down low and slow, and you will radically transform all areas of your life.
Even just being able to relax too, right? I mean, if you
100%.
if you can get into that relaxed state, like in meditative or whatever, by breathing deeply and just letting your body relax into the breath, I mean, it's just instant.
It's instant, and anybody can do it with simply dedicating a little bit of mental real estate to your breathing. Fellas, if you want to have a good date, if you want to go out and have a good date, go out and breathe well. Okay, it's going to create that warm, satiny, fluid energy between the two of you all. You want to fuck it up? Go out and be all in your head, all tense and tight, and like your listening will go down. You'll be a bad guy. I'm a professional speaker and professional speaking coach. It's a side gig that has come out of me being relentless about talking about this stuff and getting in front of people. And that's the first thing we talk about. Is rate of speech. If you want to sales, let's talk about sales. It's the same thing. You want to sound like an amateur, get on a sales call, give a sales presentation with your breath trapped in your chest. Even if you say all the right words, people are going to pick up on it. Deliver from your abdomen, and you will be embodied. You will be resonant. You'll be solid in your speech, and everybody picks up on that too.
You can see that happening too when you start getting like argumentative, or when you're like fired up with someone. You're like, blah, 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 blah. And sometimes when you can just like stay slow, that'll piss some people off.
And I think deep breathing, even during arguments or
if they want you to bip
disarm
with them and you don't bip with them, sometimes they're like, you motherfucker.
Yeah, because they want you to trauma bond. There are people that incite arguments because they want you to trauma bond with them. What the fuck is that? That's where both people go into an upregulated stress state, and now all the prickly feels, they're interconnected. As far as coaching is concerned, that's one of the main reasons that, as far as the coach is concerned, that we hammer low and slow breathing. Because if you have the magic questions, especially if you know what to do with the pen, you're going to put your clients into process, and the emotions and feels are going to come up. And if you tighten up when they go emotional, you're now trauma bonding. Okay, you have lost the rhythm, and I understand very little about energetics of things. A lot of the metaphysics, it's over my head, and it's akin, because I've done the reps, I've made all the mistakes. Damn near all the mistakes. It's akin to getting slimed in Ghostbusters. You do want to stay out of that shit. So just breathing, folks. Fine, yeah, words. And let's one last thing, fellas. Let's talk about this. I'm minding my own business down in Vilcabamba, Ecuador. I was living down there for a year and a half, and I'm out to dinner, and somebody at the table knew what I did, and he goes, "Hey, Mark, you know what abracadabra means?" And I'm like, yeah, magic. And he goes, "No, abracadabra is Aramaic, and it translates to with my word I create, or with my word I influence." The hair stuck up on my arms and neck. I put my fork down. I went over and asked him, I said, "What else do you know?" He said, the metaphysicians, the teachers of the day, would triangulate it and wear it around their neck to remind them of the power and the mechanism of the spoken word. And to say that this has, so I just ordered 50 of these, made little stones, abracadabra in it, my business card, flash everybody my phone number, call me, I'll fucking talk to you. Abracadabra, it's wooden, Enlifted on the back. Magic, abracadabra, spells. Cast, great spell, break, constrictive spells, cast, expansive spells. Watch what happens.
Was there something about the design of that word that makes it that triangle too, if you write it both ways, or is that just a fluke?
As far as the downward triangle?
Yeah.
Well, I've heard a couple different opinions on it, and the main one is that they would triangulate it like that to siphon negative energy out of someone's field.
Huh. Interesting. I don't know. That's great advice. I mean, the ancients talked about thoughts and how powerful they were. And I mean, this is just, we got to get back to what the ancients were doing. Abracadabra.
Abracadabra. I have some spare bongs. If you want, you could take it home and just pretend you're having a hoot.
No, it's okay. It's okay. It's okay. I do the breath work. I've been doing it with a niacin protocol with the slow and low breathing on 4 axes.
Okay.
Doing this with trying to
You
get
probably do more than I do,
lungs
honestly.
back. Yeah.
You probably
Yeah, no, I do it every 2 days. I do the Brandon Powell stuff. Yeah.
I have a hoot
That's
every
legit.
couple hours.
Yeah, it's I mean, honestly, dude, it makes you, especially prior to a meditation, it just puts you right in that state. Like, I actually like the breath. I like the feeling of the breath hold and then the relaxation afterwards. It's good. It's just a lot of work doing it with the heavy breathing, but
And then your breath hold is getting worse.
Yeah,
I mean, that's not good.
I
It's
know.
not good. You sure you didn't get the shot?
yeah, didn't get it. No.
Well, Mark, this has been great. Hopefully we'll bump into you one day down the road. It seems inevitable that it's just a matter of time until we're hanging out at a cabin in the woods sometime together. And
I would enjoy that, and it is very likely.
I was actually just talking to Brandon a couple hours ago. I wonder if he knew we were chatting tonight, or if it was just a coincidence.
I told him earlier today.
Oh yeah. I wonder if that reminded, because he called me and we talked about the event that we're going to do here down in February. I mean, if someone does want to get in on that, there are some pieces moving around. If you shoot me an email, Darren@gramerica.ca or .com, both work. Maybe I can get you in, maybe I can't. Shoot me an email, see what I can do. No promises. Mark, this has been fantastic. I can tell you're a friend of Brandon's. He's one of my favorite people in the world, and I can see why he's such good friends with you right away. Where can our listeners track you down if they want to learn more about the technique or learn more about the coaching or
the abracadabra?
The abracadabra. Are you on social media, anything like that?
Yeah, for the magic words and shit posts, go to Mark England 2057 on IG, and to learn about the coaching certifications at Enlifted Coaches on IG.
Right on.
Fellas, mind if I take a screenshot real quick?
Go
No,
for it,
that's
buddy.
fine.
That'd be great.
Do you was that the website too then?
Enlifted.me is the website.
Enlifted.me? That's with an E, right? E or an I?
M-E at the end.
No, like to start. Enlifted or M?
Oh, and good question.
E-N,
E.
Enlifted. Okay.
Yep.
Right on,
Enlifted.
buddy.
Yeah, this has been great. Like I say, I'm sure it's just a matter of time before we're out doing something together, and I bet you Brandon will be there. It's been a great chat, and we hope you come back soon, and don't stay in California too long. It'll make you crazy.
I'm in and out like an airstrike. 1 week.
That's the way to do it. Yeah, I
Say
mean,
hello, do this podcast, watch the UFC, and then I'm bouncing.
maybe you can get to like the redwoods too. That's my favorite part of California.
Yeah. Gentlemen, thank you. Thanks again for having
Thanks,
me on,
Mark.
everybody. Thanks for
Awesome,
listening.
buddy. Take care. See
All
ya.
right, Mark, have a good night. And that was our chat with Mark. What'd you think?
Yeah, good. Yeah, it looks good with the beard. I was used to watching him barefaced. He's a good-looking, handsome dude too, barefaced.
You know, speaking of handsome dudes, who's this new? I heard there's some new handsome doctor podcaster.
A handsome doctor
Podcast about
podcaster.
neuroscience.
Neuroscience doctor. Oh, really?
I figured you'd know for sure.
I don't know.
You're into hats and dudes.
I'm not sure.
That's the weirdest looking hat I've ever seen. I don't know what. Is that a swimming cap? Is that for the shower?
It was under my hockey helmet usually, but
Why are you wearing
well,
it?
Maria said she liked it on me. So, and then I wanted to wear it too because my hair is a disaster. Do you know my
It's a
hair
good
is
thing we're not streaming.
my hair is totally
Oh my God.
changed
You had
since COVID.
Really?
It's
Mine's
weird.
the same.
I wonder if anybody else has had
I'm
that.
growing
problem.
mine out.
It's all wiry and gray, dude. It's totally. changed.
Well, I mean, dude, it's just been a matter of time. It's been falling out like a motherfucker, right?
Anyways, yeah, this was a fun chat with Mark. I mean, I really
I
do
like
think
how you're
that,
blaming COVID on your balding.
I didn't say balding.
Blaming your balding.
I said it's turning wiry. It's gone. It's the softness
well, that's what
is
it
gone.
does before it falls out.
The softness is gone, and
That's
it's
because there's less
turning
of
gray.
it. It's because there's less of it.
Dude. It's the bioweapon.
It's like when you're down to like just a handful of hairs, it's like a wire brush.
Even Mark said it was a bioweapon. So
Did he?
yeah,
He also said don't be a victim.
that's right. I got to write that story down. I was attacked by a bioweapon, and my hair went gray and fell, and my lung capacity went down to 1 minute.
I think my hair's growing faster. I'm growing it out. It's in the awkward stage right now.
Did you see? I was looking at because your headphones took it back.
It goes back and forth. Like if it gets like messed up just the right way, or it's just the right kind of wet,
It looks pretty.
man, it looks super sexy.
Exactly, but
Most of the time, I just look like a mad scientist. It's probably going to be like this for a couple of. This will be the rest of the year.
Because you were talking about how conceited you were and how great you were. And I'm looking at you. I'm like, if he could only see himself right now.
Oh, I can see myself. Yeah, it's all right
funny.
though.
Anyways, that was a good chat. Yeah, I think it's so important.
Conceited's
breathing in
not the right word.
words,
It's
like-
confident.
I know.
I'm
but
confident
you
that
said
I can take
conceited.
on any
You said
challenges.
conceited.
At any time.
You said conceited.
I have an everyday carry.
Anyways, this is good. That
It's
was
a
good.
knife though, because handguns are illegal here. Not illegal to own, but illegal to carry
You carry a knife around with you?
all the time. You don't?
Oh my god, dude! No, come on. Really? I mean, I probably should start. but-
Why wouldn't you? It's just like, I mean, it doesn't have to be for stabbing somebody. There's a million things you could come up and need a knife. I mean, I work in construction, so it's like,
Well, a Swiss Army knife I used to carry around.
I just keep a pocket knife, you know.
All right. Yeah. All right. Okay, buddy.
Okay. Well, you remember that next time you're like, we're doing something, you're like, does somebody have a knife? And you're like, fuck, no, I don't. You fucking chew on that apple from the outside, bro. Big thanks to Mark for coming on the show. Big thanks to you guys for listening. Even bigger thanks if you're the supporters, our value for value supporters over here. We can't do it without you. If it weren't for you guys, we'd have to wrap it up. No support, no show. We couldn't do it. We literally couldn't do the show without supporters.
And we don't do ads or sponsorships or anything like that. We don't even want you guys to be annoyed. We don't even want you guys to be fast forwarding an ad at the beginning.
Don't even bother.
Man,
if you're gonna fast forward
so many
something,
people still have ads. And it's like,
fast forward us.
Yeah.
America.ca/support. Make a one-time donation or sign up for a monthly today. We would love you for it. If you want to hear more of our podcasting antics, head over to GramAmericaOutlaw.ca today. Check out the other 50 or 60 shows from the show we launched this year, just about a year old, just coming up on a year old at the end of this month, probably a couple weeks away. GramAmericaOutlaw.ca. Check that out today. And then there's adultbrain.ca. So I guess we do have some ads, but they're for more of our own great content.
Exactly.
Adultbrain.ca for all those great audiobooks. I think there's 35 of them there now, including most of the Charles Fort collection. Graham will have that finished up this month. Join the chats, GramAmerica.ca/chats. Other than that, be kind to each other. We love you guys. Thanks for listening, and we will see you next week.
Somehow I built a rocket ship out of the stuff dreams are made and popsicle sticks. Please look at my rocket ship schematics. Tell me you can fly to the moon. Tell me I'm not a lunatic. I bet you think I'm the space cadet. I bet you think I'm a space cadet. No regret, I do not fret, 'cause I am a space cadet. In my hands I have a gas can and matchsticks. Yes, Earth is my home, but I need a vacation from all the sadness, the chaos and dramatics. I'll let you do the countdown, 3, 2, 1, no hesitation. I bet you think I'm a space cadet. I bet you think I'm a space cadet. I bet you think I'm a space cadet. No regret, I do not fret, 'cause I am a space cadet. Fly by, trailing behind a silver streamer. I do not fret, 'cause I am a space cadet. No regret, I do not fret, 'cause I am a dreamer. Look at my rocket ship fly by, trailing behind a silver streamer.
And now, another adventure in coffee enemas.
Oh man. Oh, good. Oh, you just gotta get to the washroom. Okay, I'm almost there. Oh, one more step. Okay. Oh god. I just gotta get these pants off. Oh, it's here! Oh, it's over. Oh, thank God. It's over. Well, alright then. What is this? What is this I feel inside of me? All this power. All this invigorating energy. I feel like I can arm wrestle a moose. I gotta get going. I gotta move. I gotta run. Oh my God! I'm going for a run!